Okay, let's talk about Walmart. We're talking about a company on a scale that's, well, it's just staggering. It feels like this inevitable global behemoth. But here's the thing, it wasn't always. The story of how it got there is a masterclass, really, a blend of old school, common sense principles and some seriously cutting edge tech. I mean, just to put it in perspective, check out this number 2.3 million. That's how many people work for Walmart around the world. That's more than the entire population of some countries. Just let that sink in for a second.
So the big question we're going to tackle here is how? How on earth did a single, humble store in Arkansas blow up into the world's largest retailer?
Well, you might be surprised that the answer doesn't start in some high-tech boardroom. Nope. It starts with a pickup truck, a plain old notebook, and the set of 10 simple rules from its founder, Sam Walton. All right, so let's start right there at the very beginning. This is the foundation. Before all the satellites and the crazy logistics, it all came down to Sam's personal philosophy, which he basically boiled down into 10 surprisingly simple rules.
And you've got to pay attention to this one. Rule number 9. This is the one that really unlocks everything else. Sam Walton was famous for being cheap, almost comically so. But for him, it wasn't just about pinching pennies. Controlling costs was the ultimate competitive weapon.
And his other rules were just as straightforward, They're all about building a certain kind of culture. Treat your employees, he called them associates, as partners. Listen to what they have to say. And celebrate your successes. I mean, for years, they started every single day with the Walmart cheer. It's this kind of quirky thing Sam actually picked up from a tennis ball factory in Korea, just because he loved the energy it brought. Okay, but here's the thing. Having a list of rules is one thing. That's the what. The real genius behind Walmart was the how. See, a lot of companies fall into the trap of just trying to do the same stuff as their rivals, only a little bit better. Walmart's big move, they decided to do things completely differently. And this is a really crucial distinction to get. On one hand, you have operational effectiveness. That's just being more efficient. On the other, you have strategy, which is all about carving out a unique space for yourself. Think about it. While all their competitors were caught up in the cycle of weekly sales and big, flashy promotions, Walmart just committed. They went all in on everyday low prices. And that wasn't just a catchy slogan. It forced them to rethink their entire business from the ground up. And this wasn't some happy accident, They built a system for it. This chart here shows their closed-loop system. Just follow the arrows. They'd set the strategy up top, turn it into real plans over here on the left, check the results, and then this is the key, adapt and improve on the right. This loop turned a simple idea into a machine that just got better and better over time. So that obsession with strategy, with doing things differently, naturally led them to their next big breakthrough. I mean, if you're going to promise everyday low prices, you can't just wish it into existence. You have to build the most ridiculously efficient supply chain the world has ever seen. And this is where we see Sam's rule number 9 again, but this time in action on a massive, massive scale. Remember? Control your expenses. To do that, they had to become absolute masters of getting stuff from point A to point B. So how'd they do it? Through a bunch of moves that were pretty radical at the time. First, they just cut out the middleman. Their buyers went straight to the manufacturers. Then, they built this incredible network of distribution hubs so any store could be restocked in like 24 hours. They also mastered this thing called cross-stocking, where goods basically come in one door of the warehouse and go right out another, barely stopping. And to top it all off, they bought their own fleet of trucks. Total control. And the result of all that? Well, just look at this chart. It's a huge deal. Their shipping costs were only about 3% of their total cost. Their competitors? Closer to 5%. Now, 2% might not sound like a lot, but when you're talking about billions and billions of dollars in sales, yeah, that is a monumental advantage. Now, the brain behind this whole supply chain machine was a system they called Retail Link. And you have to understand, back in the 90s, this was absolutely revolutionary. Walmart just opened up its books. They gave suppliers access to their real-time sales data. It was like they were saying, hey, look, here's exactly what's selling in our stores right now. It's on you to make sure our shelves stay full. It just made the whole system smarter and way, way faster for everyone. And that system, Retail Link, really points us to the final, deepest layer of the Walmart formula. Because when you peel everything back, beneath the simple rules and the amazing logistics, you find a tech powerhouse. Walmart isn't just a store, it's a data company. It always has been. And I'm not kidding, they have been tech pioneers for decades. They launched their own private satellite network in 1983. Think about that. They were super early with barcodes, RFID tags for tracking inventory, and as we're about to see, with big data analytics.
Fast forward to today, and the nerve center is something they call the Data Cafe. It's this insane analytics hub that crunches, get this, 2.5 petabytes of data every single hour. That's a number so big, it's hard to even wrap your head around.
But, okay, what does that actually do? A huge number is just a number. So let me give you a quick story that shows what it means. It's Halloween, right? And the analysts at the Data Cafe see something weird. A really popular novelty cookie is flying off the shelves everywhere except for 2 stores. In just 2 stores, sales were 0. Nothing. The system flags this instantly and sends out an alert. Someone looks into it, and you know what the problem was? It wasn't that people didn't want the cookies. It was a simple stocking mistake. The cookies were sitting in the back room and had never even made it onto the store floor. And that right there, that's the magic of real-time data. A problem that, in the old days, might have taken weeks to even notice, if ever, it got identified and fixed in a matter of minutes. Think of the sales they saved. So when you start stacking all these layers together, you've got Sam's simple rules as the foundation. On top of that, a unique strategy, then this incredible supply chain machine, and all of it powered by a data empire. Well, that's when you see the whole picture. That's the Walton legacy. And if you want to see what that formula looks like in the real world, just look at this chart. This is the result. This is what decades of that relentless focus and compounding advantages actually produces. Just straight up. But hang on, there is one final crucial piece to this puzzle. Way back in 1953, Sam Walton took his father-in-law's advice and set up a unique family partnership. This structure is what allowed the family to keep control and to always play the long game, reinvesting in the business instead of getting squeezed by Wall Street's pressure for short-term profits. It protected the whole formula. Which kind of brings us to a final big question for today. Walmart's success is this amazing blend, right? It's simple, human-focused rules on one side and these incredibly complex, data-driven systems on the other. So as we push forward into an age that's going to be dominated by AI and automation, which part of that formula do you think matters more for the next 50 years? The simple rules or the complex systems?